Did you listen to Jeff and Professor Hemo in the morning? Here's what you missed.
Currently, we have grade 3 going on.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what happens in grade 3?
After that one, we have what we call national assessment. It's different from what we always know, the national exam. It's just a national assessment where the government will go through and see how far it has been implemented. And areas of focus are numeracy, literacy, and integrated learning areas.
Tayari tumepotelea wapi numeracy?
What does that mean?
Naona kwa numeracy hapo ndio tulishikia. Break it down.
Dr. Carol Chakua,
Yes.
this curriculum-based, competency-based curriculum, can it work?
If it is implemented well, it looks really good on paper. And I think if there's goodwill all around with all stakeholders, I think it's a very good way to go. Given that, we have come through a space where it was so exam focused.
Yes.
Yeah, and it's refreshing to know that there are other aspects that are going to be assessed now that can help children go in different directions rather than just being an A student or an A plus.
Right.
Because children now, for a long time, we have been identified by our
Grades. Yes.
Yeah, and anything else falls through the cracks.
Right.
So for me, if it's implemented well, I think it's a good direction.
Okay. Of course, we're also joined by Katia Nyangi. She's communications director at Makini Schools. They have to have a communications director.
Yeah, that's a school.
Communicate.
Ni shule. Ni group of schools. Yetu ilikuwa mnaongeleshana. Director kama nani?
Katia, karibu sana. Okay, so now this. So the crossover from 844 to 2633, and there's a lot of resistance, Hezron. There's a lot of resistance, Dr. Harry.
Yes.
Why is there resistance?
Okay, I think the resistance it comes in because of I think civic education wasn't really done properly well. But if it's well done, it's something that, just like Dr. Arya said, is a beautiful thing. Quite well, because it deals with the competencies, not as content in the previous that we have in 844, where a curricula, first of all, is something that is a document that is supposed to focus on the needs of a country.
Okay.
And as a country, we know very well that competencies are something we need, values are things that we need. And you know very well in Nairobi here, when you're being beaten, what happens to the passerby? They just look at you.
Hey, ni movie.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Tunachukua clip.
They watch.
Haraka juu tunataka like.
You see, but the country needs values. We talked about corruption. We talked about other issues. But this curriculum needs to answer those queries and solve.
Doctor, do you agree? Did we lose our values along the way?
Yes, we did. I think that at some point, well, let me talk about the education system. We just moved towards academics so much that, and then now it became so competitive, so cutthroat, and then now the corruption, issues came in. I think that we have lost values, and we need to be able to go back to our, where we were before, where we, as a community, we had shared values, and that really brought a lot of. It strengthened communities, and also it's strengthened us in a way that, for me as a parenting coach, one of the things that I really focus on is creating a community of parents, teachers, and caregivers that are reading from the same page. And this same page should actually be what those values are. The system has a lot of focus on the value-based education. And I think if we are able to focus on that, then we'll be in a better position.
Katia, I'll get to you in a moment. Just let me ask Dr. Carol one more question. I think you coaches and parenting folks have failed us. You know that. You've failed your children. When you hear children saying "wamlambe,"
tumefika hapi.
What happened? What went wrong?
Who has failed?
Tulikosea Mungu wapi?
Is it like, unajua hata hiyo shared value gani? Shared value yetu.
Somebody
how fast
dropped the ball somewhere, Dr.
Yeah, I think because we become global and we're not just borrowing. We now have so many teachers, and for our children, it's before the teachers were known. There were the village elders and the church people and a few just people within the community. They were all known. We all read from the same page. But now, even as parents, we are not even aware who our children's teachers are. Yeah. And so I think it's time that we stepped back and asked ourselves, what do we need to do, even as individual parents, as a community, so that we can get back what we need to get.
Yeah, Kenyan, let me ask you this, as communications director at Makini Schools, how come your school has maintained those principles, those standards? How come?
Well,
without blowing your own trumpet.
Yeah, so Makini Schools is about 40 years old. And how we've done this is we've been staying ahead of the curve. Even as CBC is coming, what we found is that we've already been implementing CBC in some way. And what also CBC is bringing back is our love for learning. Children now want to come to school. They love to learn. They want to know. They're getting curious. And because we've already been having lots of the activities and focus on co-curricular and sports, even as we still emphasize academics, that's how we've managed to stay relevant.
Hezron, what about the issues that we all went through in schools? Bullying, for instance. Does that happen at Makini? And don't say no.
It doesn't happen.
Jackie, we are surviving in the same ecological
ecosystem.
So please.
The reason why it doesn't happen, we also have our own values as an institution. And those values, as you get enrolled in the institution, you are told how you're supposed to behave. And even our teachers, we start from ourselves.
But there's some children who never listen, you know that. They're just born bullies.
Yes.
It's in the DNA.
You may stand on top of a hill na bado hatasikia.
Yeah.
I can tell you something, Jeff. There's nobody in this world who cannot behave according to the instructions that are given. That's a fact. And that's what teaching entails. Teaching entails ensuring that all students follow values. What differs the approach? Makini has a different approach to this, where first of all you are valued. Bullying and such kind of things, they come as a reaction to a certain environment, which we do not have in Makini. The environment is very conducive for everybody. And therefore when you get in, you feel comfortable, you're at home. It's like we've carried home back to school.
Yeah.
Yes.
Dr. We were all bullied. Let's face it.
Yeah.
I'm sure you were too.
I was.
So what these people saying here, I don't believe what they're saying. How can you go through school and not be bullied?
Well, I think, like Hezron has said, they are creating a certain environment to make sure that those things, I don't know if it's zero, at zero level, but the occurrences are less. And what helps, like probably, I don't know what Makini has, a good policy on bullying. That is something that schools should adopt, so that it comes from what even constitutes bullying. Is it just, how can we draw a line between just normal behavior, developmental behavior, and something that has just gone way beyond? And then now when a child is bullied, when there are those cases, what do we actually do? Is it, of course, maybe it will happen, or definitely it will happen in school, or maybe outside the school, but it will be among students. Then what happens there? How is the parent involved? When parents hear that their children have been bullied, it becomes such a big deal, especially for parents who were bullied as children. It triggers something in them, and their reactions can be extreme. So I think schools having a policy on bullying really helps, because it doesn't really help to have a parent going to attack the child. In fact, recently, I think I was reading on social media about someone whose child was bullied, and there were like hundreds of advice. Just go and wait. Now they're telling the parent, just go and wait for that child and just work on them. I was like,
But that was as late as last week. I think some kid was hospitalized after being bullied in this day and age.
We were bullied mpaka unaona ni SI unit ya masomo.
And now the bullying now is more just not physical. There's a lot of cyberbullying going on, and parents are not even aware of that. And so it becomes that a child is in their own world, but they're being bullied online, a place where they're seemingly now supposed to get friends and interact, and that's what's leading also to a lot of issues with depression, suicide, mental illness.
Absolutely.
So it's a whole ball game. There's that bullying of physical. But what's really happening that we are not even aware of is the cyberbullying.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So Makini, that we all knew, used to belong to Mary Okello, who sold it, right?
Yeah.
To who?
So the school managers are now Skole International, UK based, and the investors are Advatech, a listed company in South Africa, and Kairos Capital.
Wow.
Yeah.
And it's 40 years old. You just
Makin's
said.
40 years old.
And you've been there how long, Hezron?
I've been there since 2005.
Wow.
Since 15
Yes.
years.
Man.
Yeah.
Ndio maana hiyo umesikia wanakaa mpaka unashika a culture. It's a culture.
Yeah, it's an ecosystem.
Yeah,
And some,
this
the
is
beauty
beautiful.
about it,
What's been the best part?
yes,
What's been the best part
of Makin.
of teaching there?
Teaching.
Yes.
Everything is good there. Yeah.
Would you leave there and go to Mashinani and teach your 2633 there?
Kama Baraka Primary iko hapa Mukuru kwa
I think
tena.
I'm Makin and Makin is me. So
Mimi naweza kushikilia makini. Naweza kuwa makini sana kwa kushikilia hiyo kazi.
yeah.
Wow.
And the reason why we've survived for 40 years and still going strong, we believe in holistic development of a child. Like just what Katya said, these competency-based things, this we started long time ago. That's why we have even a sports academy within Makini, where we train learners in different areas. We have music classes going on. They started long time ago. So, we were not doing it formally, but now we are now doing it formally because it's within the curriculum. And parents have developed a strong confidence on the brand.
Okay.
Yes.
Dr. As being parenting, right? I mean,
Yeah.
you obviously come across kids with incredible talents.
Yeah.
Incredible talents which they are not nurturing or they're scared to bring out. How do you do that now? Or will this curriculum help?
This curriculum will help for sure, because unless what we do at being parenting is equip the parent. Once we equip the parent, because what happens with most parents is they use their children to complete what they did not complete when they were, when they were growing up.
They're living their childhood through.
They're living out their dreams through their children. And so initially when I was working, I wasn't even working with parents. I was working with children who had behavioral problems, children who are depressed. And the more I was working with them, I'm realizing I have the wrong client in front of me. The person that I really want to reach is the parent, because you fix the child, then you take them back to the same environment. Okay, so what I realized is that I can help the child better by helping their parents. And so that's why I developed Being Parenting. And so back to your question, how do parents help nurture talent? First of all is to let go of their own unfinished business. Be able to sit back and just read your child as a book. Begin to discover your child yourself. So if you're able to separate your own dreams and desires and find a way to pursue them, because that's the thing, you can actually still pursue them at whatever age, and so if you find ways to complete yourself, then you allow your child, as you read and discover them, then you'll be able to know what it is that really is good for them. And so I think that the CBC curriculum has come to support that even more, because before it was more the private schools, the international schools that really put a lot of money in developing those aspects of a child. But now if we have the government fully supporting it, then I think that we are headed in the right
Maybe to
direction.
support on what Dr. said, now we have what you call curriculum design. This is what will guide both parents and teachers on acquisition of these competencies. In that curriculum design, there's a section called community service learning, where a parent need to come in, the community need to come in, because we are living in a society where we even don't know people around us. If I have to ask you, Hamna, do you know in Nairobi where you are living? Do you know your assistant chief?
Assistant?
Chief.
What a chief, governor. Tunasumbuana sana. Wewe unasema chief. You got ofisi yake iko wapi?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Where you're staying, Jeff? Do you know the headman?
I have no clue. Not even the MCA.
Now you can look at that. You can look at the site where we are. You see, So a Nairobi parent and a Kenyan parent right now is too much busy chasing money. They have no time for the children. The curriculum design is bringing you back. You have a role to play. As much as you are chasing money and waking up early in the morning, you still have a role to play, to parent.
Yes.
So, Katia, how come there's been so much resistance? Again, Hezron says there hasn't been enough civic education, but come on. I mean, if this thing is what you guys are saying, how come there's been so much resistance? Or people are going to lose money, or they're going to lose tenders, or they're going to supply books. Or...
Hii kununua equipment ya muziki. Ni equipment ama ni uniform?
Why the resistance, Katia?
Change causes those kind of feelings, and that's a natural process. We just have to keep working at it and proving that the system is for the best. And again, that awareness, creating more awareness from the government level, because we had a chat earlier, and there's that over implementation that sometimes takes place, where what maybe some educationists have not yet understood, it's about using the resources that are available within your surrounding, and it's not about having some high-tech technology to implement this curriculum. I think more awareness and just time will get us there.
Dr. Carol, was 844 a failure?
You know,
She's an 844.
I think that something changed along the way. I think it started very well. You know, with the intentions were right. I mean, you could get to class 8 and actually go into a trade without having to go to high school.
Art and craft.
Yeah, exactly. Those very first days, it was fun. You build a hut. We used to do trays. You know, I mean, we used to do so much art, especially the art and craft and the agriculture aspect of it. But I don't know what happened along the way when now it's became so exam focused, and then so it became highly competitive, and so the only measure of a child was how, you know, before I think it was 600 marks, so it was, you know, 550 and above then, you know. So I think that's where we went wrong. We became too focused on passing exams, and so there was nothing else except churning out children through a closed system, pushing them through a system, and only a few could come out to be able to do something creative or productive. So it started well, and something changed along the way. And for me, my concern, I have the same concern with the CBC. It's really great on paper, and there is a lot of good things, especially in just trying to get, like even just using the resources that you have at hand. That's encouraging a lot of creativity. But I hope that it doesn't lose, we don't lose it.
Hezron, do you agree? Failure or not? 844.
844, at inception, it was meeting the needs of the country. But, there's global practice whereby a curriculum is supposed to be reviewed after every 10 years. Yes, so that it can be able to meet those changes. But then, just like Dr. said, it reached somewhere. I think it was commercialized.
Yes.
And therefore, it currently is not even meeting the needs of our country. Briefly, I'll ask you, when you were in primary school, we used to draw an insect and name it very well. Head, thorax, abdomen. Currently in the studio here, does it help you?
Well, I see his head and his thorax now and then.
But the other parts are missing.
Does it help you right now? When other countries like China and so on were busy learning on competencies, we are busy learning parts of an insect that probably would not even help you. That's a fact. You are drawing a flower, thorax, everything. You see, you could name it perfectly well. Does it help you right now?
For who?
But now this curriculum, it's it's about attitude. If all sectors and all stakeholders can have a positive attitude towards it, the best thing that can happen to this country. Other countries, when they're going for Olympics, how many disciplines do as a country do we represent them?
Maximum 3,
isn't it?
Marathon, javelin, and occasional.
Not taekwondo once in a while.
Okay. What about US?
40 something. Every day they're winning.
What about Russia?
Synchronized swimming.
China.
Do you think those things can't happen in Kenya?
They can.
Then lastly, what pays more? Is it academics or skills?
I think it's
Skills.
skills. They pay more.
Jeff Koinange and Professor Hemo every day, Monday to Friday from 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. only on Hot 96.